Hello, and thank you for joining me today. I am here on Thursday, October 19th, to review the September Desert Housing Report. For those of you who were at our El Paseo office meeting yesterday, we had so much great content from the senior marketing manager for Better Homes and Gardens, and we had a recap on everything that happened at Apex last week, and we didn't have time to review the Desert Housing Report. And I know you guys rely on that information as you're meeting with your buyers and sellers and having conversation with prospects. So we wanted to make sure we got that info to you. So as promised, I'm doing a separate recording today and I'm going to send it out to everyone in the company so you all have the information. Let's see, I'm going to share screen so we can get started here. And there we go. All right. So here is the Desert Housing Report you're all familiar with. As you guys know, the very first thing we're going to go to is the sales recovery chart that was added in at the beginning of this year to sort of show what has happened over the last little bit with the market. And at the beginning of the year, we hit that low of 34%, almost 35%. Reduced number of transactions and sales happening in the desert. And we had this little red line that showed we were going to have recovery and we're expecting that by the end of the year. But as you can see, that's not exactly what's happened. We know you guys have felt it. We have felt it. We are very excited though, because we're seeing lots of new contracts coming in and lots of new escrows. And so we know you guys will have a very strong end of the year, the last quarter. And we're really just anticipating what is going to be happening in the beginning of next year and getting ourselves all ready for it. So with that being said, we're going to go through, we'll detail most of the information in the summary today as we go through these slides. The first thing we want to talk about is the detached median price of a home in the Coachella Valley sits at $660,000. That is the same as last month and down 1.5% year over year. When it comes to the attached market, it's a little bit lower. That attached median price is 435,000. That is down 4,000 over last month and 6.5% year over year. And we generally see that when the detached market tends when inventory starts to come up just a touch, we see the attached market come down because some people that would have purchased an attached if they had to will go into the detached market. So we have seen those prices soften just a touch more than the detached market, which is normal. And we're coming out of the time of year where prices tend to soften. So we're hoping to see things come back a little bit at the end of the year and coming into the first quarter of next year as well. Let's see, the next slide we want to go over is the 3-month moving average. And the reason we look at the 3-month moving average, the number of transactions that happen over 3 months, is it kind of helps us to take out some of the seasonality that we tend to see in some of the slower months and average it out with some of those heavier months. So for the 3-month average right now is sitting at 532 units. And that's about 50 units than last year. And last month was 623, but that was also 50 units less than last year. So we're sitting sort of steady at that 3-month average. And right now, every city has a lower 3-month average of sales, except Cathedral City, Indian Wells, and Rancho Mirage. Those 3 cities are tending to see a little bit higher month of sales or are holding steady. Let's see, and this is your 12-month, that number is 573, so it is a little higher, but again, you can see the changes throughout the year and where our seasonality comes into play. This shows it by city, and this shows that by price range. We're going to skip past that though, and we're going to get to inventory. Right now, as of 10/1, there are, not right now, but as of 10/1, there are 1,762 units on the market. You'll notice this chart says 1,601. That was last month's number. It is 161 units more than last month, but this number just didn't get updated, and it's the same in the summary. So know that we're not at 1,600 units. We're at 1,762. And we expect that number to continue to rise as we get into season. The month of sales is up 3.1. That's our next slide. So our months of sales ratio, and that month of sales ratio is if nothing new came on the market, how long would it take for us to sell every house on the multiple listing service or on the market now? That number as of right now is 3.1. That's up just a touch over last month, and it's up almost 1 month over last year. So you can see we were sitting at about 2.2 months. That's a great conversation for you to have when you're talking to your clients, and you need to know what these numbers are for the individual neighborhoods that you're working in, because it can help you to figure out where you need to position yourself on the market if you want to be the next house to go. This again breaks it down by price range and by city, but we're going to skip past that because we are going to get to days in market. So our days in market is sitting steady. It's the same number it was last month, which is 38. That's same as last month, but it is 6 days more than last year. We were at 32 last year. So again, when the seller asks, you've been on the market for 10 days and they're like, why haven't we gotten any offers? Well, we know that the average in the Coachella Valley is 38 days before a home before it goes pending or before it goes contingent or active under contract. And you need to know what that number is for the neighborhood that you're in. I just did a presentation for a client and showed her that based on how many sales are in the neighborhood, one home sells every 45 days in her neighborhood. So if she wants to be the next one to go, she needs to price herself so that she's in that bottom 10%, because as of right now, there was a year's worth of inventory left in the neighborhood. If you guys have any questions on how to show that information to a client through the stats, come sit down with me and let's do a little role play on it, and I'll walk you through how to pull those numbers and be able to show that to a client. It's really useful information when you're trying to help them to price the property to move as quickly as they need it to. And let's see, I think that's it. Again, this breaks things down a little differently, attached homes, detached homes. The last thing I did want to show you is that we are at 17.1% of homes are selling over list price now. And you can see when things were wild a little while ago, it almost looks like a cowboy hat, like the Wild West. And you can see where things were just about a year ago. As of right now, only less than 20% of homes are coming in over ask. So if you get a list, an offer at list price, or even just a touch over, like, you're doing really well in today's market. Again, just useful information when you're sitting down talking with sellers and helping them learn how to be realistic. That is the basics of what I wanted to share with you. Starting this week, I'm going to be reaching out to the agents at the El Paseo office for one-on-one appointments to do business planning. I am available for anyone else who would like to sit down and do some business planning to get yourself ready for next year. Just reach out on any email you've seen from me, and including the email that this came through. You can just click on the little link that says book an appointment with me, and we can do a phone, Zoom, or in-person meeting so we can get you guys prepared and get you working that business plan now so you can get results starting January 1st. Hope you're all doing well. Reach out if there's anything we can do to help, because we're always here and happy to do so. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.